Another retail brand underpaying staff. Let's have a look. Good afternoon, everyone. Florian Heiser here, and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. I've got my afternoon stein of coffee, and I thought we would have a look at this article from news.com. This is to do with Chatime. They're being taken, or the franchisor here in Australia has legal action launched against them by the Fair Work Ombudsman. So once again, we have a case of underpayment in the retail sector. Now, this seems to be happening very often at the moment, or at least we're hearing about it in the news on a regular basis. Now, does this tell us we have a plague of business people or businesses that are trying to steal money away from their staff and risk damaging their brand if this got out? Do we have, army of bookkeepers that are unable to understand legislation? Do we have businesses that are struggling in a market where, consumer confidence is heading down? Wage growth has plummeted, and this does not help add to it. And, most sectors are in trouble, guys. Even if we jump here and have a look at business confidence, it's going down. Power prices are going up. So, let's have a look to see if we can learn a bit more about this. Before I jump into it, do you think it's an accident, guys, or do you think it is intentional? Let us know in the comments. So yet another underpayment scandal is engulfing a retail business, and this time it's popular bubble tea staple Chatime in the firing line. I can't say I'm a big fan of bubble tea. Don't they have the little bubble things in it? I guess, yeah. Bubble tea favourite Chatime has become the latest in a long line of Aussie retailers to be accused of a wage theft scandal. Today, the Fair Work Ombudsman has kicked off legal action against the Australian franchisor of the chain, as well as its managing director, after claiming staff at franchisor-operated Chatime outlets in both Sydney and Melbourne were underpaid by more than $169,000. Chatime Australia Proprietary Limited, a franchisor of dozens of Chatime outlets around the country, which also directly owns and operates a number of stores, is facing the Federal Circuit Court. The Fair Work Ombudsman is also taking action against Chatime Australia Managing Director Chen Charlie Zhou for his alleged involvement in some of the underpayments. Fair Work Ombudsman Sandra Parker said the alleged underpayments were picked up by inspectors during audits. So have some people made some complaints? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you know of anyone that's worked for this organization, or if you've got a friend who's perhaps dobbed them in. It is particularly disappointing to be making allegations of significant underpayment against a franchisor of this size, she said in a statement. We expect franchisors to not only pay their own staff correctly, but to take responsibility for ensuring that their franchisees comply with the law. Enforcing workplace laws in the fast food sector and in franchisee networks more generally continue to be priorities of the Fair Work Ombudsman. So what is going on here, guys? We're seeing this happen all the time. All the time. She said all workers in the country were entitled to the same rights and urged anyone with pay concerns to contact the Fair Work Ombudsman. There you go. It is alleged staff were paid as little as $7.59 to $24.30 per hour at stores operated by Chatime Australia, with fast food industry awards entitlements such as loading and penalty rates also ignored. Okay, so that's a huge range there. It is alleged Chatime Australia's former chief financial officer previously gave Mr. Zhou information on minimum wage award rates and warned Chatime Australia was only partially complying. So it looks like they were aware, or they'd been warned, or it's alleged that they had been warned. So there you go. I mean, this is the challenge, guys. One thing people have to realize is that our award rate here in Australia is is the highest in the world. It is the highest in the world, guys. So we're having all these discussions and there's concerns about wage rates. Wage rates are not growing. They're not growing, but our award rates are quite high. And the cost of everything is going up. We're in a real funny situation. Maybe if, as a nation, we didn't invest all of our wealth for the last 2 decades in houses and maybe in some other things, yeah. But nonetheless, that's for another video. The Fair Work Ombudsman also claims workers were underpaid the ordinary hourly rate, overtime rates, casual loadings and penalty rates for weekends, night and public holiday work they were entitled to under the Fast Food Industry Award. Annual leave entitlements and minimum entitlement pay were allegedly also underpaid. If this has happened, this is definitely systematic. And this is the thing. We're having the government is talking about a cash ban and all this stuff. That doesn't matter. That is not going to give someone an unfair competitive advantage in this situation. Here we're seeing a business where if you comply with the rules, you're going to definitely be at a disadvantage to these guys. If you've got if you've got your fast food operating business over here, you're complying with all the rules, this guy here just ignores them, they're going to have a greater advantage than you. And yet, apparently, some people trading in cash, that's why we need to ban it. So, what do you reckon? It is claimed 152 workers were underpaid a combined $169,320, with individual workers ripped off between $58 and $3,990. It is understood that the affected workers included 42 junior workers aged below 21 and 95 visa holders, many of whom were international students, although the underpayments have since been rectified. Okay, so they've rectified it. Did they rectify it because they were caught or for other reasons? So, Mr. Zhao faces penalties of up to $10,000 per contravention, and the maximum penalty for Chatime Australia Proprietary Limited is $54,000. Now, we've had a similar incident in the architectural profession, where there's practices here in Brisbane that will actually take people on as work experience students and then get them to do fee-paying work. And we contacted Fair Work about this because they were winning jobs at cheaper rates and they were having a competitive advantage. What do you think happened there? And this wasn't underpaying, this was paying them nothing. So you can have work experience students working there, but they can't be replacing a real job. And this is a firm where they were getting the students to sign 6-month contracts to do unpaid work on real projects. So they didn't do anything. They did not do anything. You had to be someone there that would complain. So perhaps maybe a staff member here complained. A directions hearing is listed in the Federal Circuit Court for late January. CEO and founder of Australian Payroll Association, Tracy Angwin, who has more than 25 years' experience working in the Australian payroll sector, said payroll mistakes were coming under the spotlight more and more frequently. Whether you're a franchisee or not, you should expect a visit from a Fair Work inspector at any time, she warned. Just think about that. Think about that. As a small business owner, the prospect of getting inspected or of a government official coming to visit you and audit your business, do you think, would that encourage you to employ staff? Would that encourage you to employ staff? Or, if you could, would you outsource it? Or would you offshore it? Let me know in the comments what you think that would encourage, guys. I've met people who have just said, nah, I'm not dealing with staff anymore, offshoring them all. I met a gentleman, I remember actually when I went and got my car washed. When I went and got my car washed, he had a car washing business where it was all just automated and he loved it. Then he had a little Domino's pizza franchise where he had to deal with all the staff. Which business do you think he preferred? This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. If you make it too hard to employ people, who do you think is going to suffer in the long run? They may want to see payroll records, including attendance documentation and payslips. Attendance documentation? What the hell? You take roll when your staff turn up? What the hell's that? Often, there are on-the-spot fines if you don't produce these documents. This is like the state coming in and demanding access to your things. Although this is exactly that. Unfortunately, franchisors have traditionally provided very little support to their franchisees including fit-for-purpose technology to help them with standard operating procedures, as well as payroll training and advisory services. With increasingly more attention on payroll mismanagement and errors from the regulators, this support needs to be provided as part of a franchisee agreement, either directly or from a third-party provider. However, Chatime is just the latest in a string of household names to be rocketed by underpayment claims. In late October, it was revealed Woolworths had underpaid nearly 6,000 employees over the past 9 years, with repayments expected to cost up to $300 million, with the scandal making global headlines. Yes, well, there you go. Other companies to be accused of underpayment in recent months include ABC, Qantas, Super Retail Group, which owns Rebel Sport, Super Cheap Auto, BCF, and other retailers, the Commonwealth Bank, Bunnings, and more. So what do you think the takeaway from this is? Is it all, are all these evil business owners trying to steal money, or is our system maybe a little too complicated, and the prospect of the state coming to review your records may just hamper some people from employing people? What do you think, guys? Remember, all of this rigmarole, it's going to, well, I would argue, the more onerous you make the process of employing people, the more you're going to increase the unemployment rate. Let me know what your opinion is in the comments below. It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, guys, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. If you're a fan of the content I produce here and you'd like to help us make more, I have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. We also have affiliate links for Amazon and eBay where we receive a small commission every time you make a purchase. If you're into crypto trading, we have an affiliate relationship with Independent Reserve where we would receive a portion of every one of your trading fees. None of these things cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support your favorite content creators. And finally, we have Pocket Squares for sale on our blog. Thank you all very much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.